Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit more about our emergency fund goal, how much money we are planning to save for an emergency fund and why that has changed. But before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new. Here on my channel we talk about budgeting tips to help you win with money and also share about how you can enjoy life while still accomplishing financial goals. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then definitely scroll down and hit that subscribe button. So my husband Jacob and I are completely debt free and we have an emergency fund in place, but the amount that we plan to have in an emergency fund has changed. So before I share a little bit more about that, I want to hear from you guys. How much is in your emergency fund, or what is your emergency fund goal? I think it's interesting because everyone has a different amount that they're striving for based on different life circumstances. So for us, we decided to go along with Dave Ramsey's program of like paying off debt and then saving for an emergency fund. So when we were paying off debt, we had $3,000 in an emergency fund, which is more than what Dave says for baby step one. We're not 100% Dave Ramsey followers, but once we were debt free, we decided that we wanted to save $10,000 for our baby step three, like big emergency fund. And this for us was about 5 months of necessary expenses. So the way that I calculated how much we needed for an emergency fund is I took all of the expenses that we need to pay in a month to be able to just survive. And then I multiplied that out and found that about, 5 months of that equaled $10,000, and that seemed like a really just even number. So that's what we decided to go with. We also then were working on saving for a down payment on a house, which I have done a few more recent videos sharing that our house down payment goal is completely done. Now that June is complete, we have finished our savings goal for the house, which is $20,000 for a down payment. And I also shared in a recent video about our plan for buying a house. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll go ahead and leave a link to it up above. And so now that we have $20,000 saved for a house and we have $10,000 in an emergency fund, we are not buying a house just yet. We still have a few months until we can start looking, just because of the way that our apartment lease ends. We cannot leave early because it'll cost us like $3,000. So we're waiting until our lease ends in like late fall to be able to look at purchasing a house. So in between now and then, we are still saving money, and that is going towards our emergency fund. And we definitely want to increase this while being homeowners. Because I'm the budget nerd, I've definitely taken a look at seeing how much we think it'll cost us to live in a house month to month. We know that it's going to be a higher mortgage payment than what we are paying in rent. And we also know that our utility bills are going to be higher, and just also the risks that you have when you're a homeowner. You're the one responsible for replacing the water heater or putting on a new roof or just taking care of other things when they go wrong, which as a renter, I don't have to worry about doing at all. And so with our $10,000 emergency fund thus far, we haven't had to touch any of it. And I think that a lot of that reasoning is because we're renters. So that is something that we don't have to worry about as a liability. But we know that when we have a house, that is definitely going to change. So I did a little mock budget and I looked at how much I estimate it costing us to own a home with our month-to-month mortgage, as well as all those other homeowner expenses, as well as the other things that we're already paying for, like food and gas, those necessities. And I added those up and then saw how much it would cost to live or survive for a month, and then multiplied that by 6. We definitely want to have a 6-month emergency fund as homeowners, just because that just makes me feel a lot more comfortable. And that number is around $22,000. So that is the new emergency fund goal that we're working on saving towards. And my goal is that we will be able to have all that money sitting in the emergency fund by the time that we move into the house, if not maybe just like a couple months after we move in. But I also know that when we do move into a house, we are going to have more money that's going to have to go to a mortgage payment. Whereas right now, as we are renters and paying less in rent than we would on a mortgage, we have more cash available during the month to be able to put towards financial goals like savings. And we realize that we're still going to be able to do savings goals when we do have a house, but it's just going to be a little bit less because of that increased cost of being a homeowner. So we really want to take care of these financial goals while we are still being renters, so that when we become homeowners, we won't have to like stressed about, increasing that savings. It'll just feel like so much security that we already have that taken care of. So now that our house down payment savings goal is complete, that doesn't mean that we are just chillaxing and spending our money on vacations or other crazy things. I did buy myself an Apple Watch, but we are now working on more savings goals of saving for more money in our emergency fund. And I will say that even though we are still finishing up that emergency fund and we've also finished our house down payment savings goal, we still have been saving for retirement with our employers as well as an outside Roth IRA. So we are still putting money into retirement as we are working on these additional savings goals. So that is all I have for this video, just a quick little update on why our emergency fund goal is changing, and that is just largely due to becoming a homeowner. I know it's going to be expensive, but we are excited for that next season of life. So leave me a comment down below, let me know how much money you'd like to have in an emergency fund or what your emergency fund savings goal is. Also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new. I will definitely be sharing more about our house buying process as time goes on and we begin looking at houses and figuring out all of the costs associated with that. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.
I've been dreaming so much lately about your face when you're smiling. It's the only thing that saves me.